Hello and welcome. I am Dr. Sarah from the International Institute of Holistic Health. And today we're diving deep into something every human being faces at some point, a crisis. Whether it's emotional, physical, spiritual, or even existential, crisis has the power to break us or awaken us. What if I told you that the only way out is through? And that on the other side of your darkest pain, there's not just healing, but love, self-love. You see, crisis comes from the Greek word krisis, meaning decision or turning point. And that's what it is, a crossroads. A place where the old no longer works and the new hasn't yet arrived. It can feel like the collapse of everything familiar, your identity, your plans, your safety. But under the surface, a crisis is a teacher, a mirror, a guide. In holistic medicine, we often say that symptoms are messengers. The same applies to emotional and life crises. They're not punishments, they're communication. They're asking, where are you abandoning yourself? What are you no longer willing to carry? What part of you is crying to be seen and loved? When we are in a crisis, we often want to escape, to numb, to fix it fast. But the truth is, the only way out is through. Going through means feeling, grieving, sitting with the discomfort, facing the parts of ourselves we usually run from. But here's the paradox. By going into the pain consciously, with curiosity and with presence, we begin to alchemize it. Imagine a forest fire, destructive, yes, but it clears away what was dead. It creates fertile ground for something new to grow. So do not rush through your crisis. Be with it. Let it show you who you are beyond the noise and trust the unraveling. One of the most touching reminders of this inner transformation is a poem attributed to Charlie Chaplin, written on his 70th birthday. It begins, "As I began to love myself, I found that anguish and emotional suffering are only warning signs that I was living against my own truth." And what a profound realization. He goes on, "Today I know this is authenticity." And this poem reflects the truth that every crisis, every breakdown is often life trying to push us back into alignment with who we really are. As I began to love myself, I understood that I'm always in the right place at the right time, and I could relax. These aren't just pretty words. They're a roadmap for healing. They remind us that self-love isn't some fluffy concept. It's a radical act of courage, of presence, of choosing ourselves again and again, even in the storm. Every crisis carries within a hidden invitation. Will you abandon yourself? Or will you finally come home to yourself? Often we've spent years living from expectations, roles, traumas, and conditioning. A crisis cracks that illusion. It forces us to pause, to question, to soften. That's where self-love begins. Self-love is not a bubble bath or affirmations. It's deep. Sometimes messy, sometimes confronting. It is setting boundaries. It's forgiving yourself. It's listening to your body. It's honoring your truth even when it's inconvenient. And it is learning to say, I am enough, even now, or especially now, In that way, the crisis becomes a birth canal. Painful, yes, but leading to a new version of you, a version rooted in truth, not in performance, in love, and not in fear. So, what can you do if you're in a crisis right now? Well, pause, breathe, let yourself stop running, sit with the feelings. They're trying to tell you something. Be compassionate with yourself. Speak to yourself the way you would to a beloved child or a hurting friend. Very tenderly. Ask the crisis, what is teaching you, not in a rushed or analytic way, but gently. What part of you needs attention? What truth is rising? Or seek support. You don't have to do this alone. Speak to someone who can hold space without judgment, a friend, a therapist, a coach, or a spiritual guide. And trust the process. Healing isn't linear, but it is real, and you are not broken. You are becoming. I want to close by repeating one more line from Charlie Chaplin's poem. As I began to love myself, I freed myself of anything that is no good for my health. Food, people, things, situations. Today I call it self-love. So if you're walking through a storm, remember the storm is not here to destroy you. It is here to reveal you, to bring you back to the essence of who you are. You are allowed to fall apart. You are allowed to cry. And you are also allowed to rise stronger, softer, and more true. With this said, I am Dr. Sarah. If this touched your heart, subscribe, share with somebody who might need it today, and let's walk this path together. Remember, the only way out is through. Much love.